Today on our community segment, we are traveling all the way to the Savannah region, precisely the Garkun community in the Sawla-Tuna-Kalba Municipality. And what are they saying? Farmers within this community say poor road network and dilapidated school building are negatively affecting their livelihoods and the future of their children. The community plays a critical role in Ghana's agricultural sector, and they are calling for urgent government and stakeholder intervention to improve basic infrastructure. Residents say bad roads are making it difficult to transport farm produce to markets, while the poor state of the school is affecting teaching and learning conditions. Let's check out this report filed by our very own Christopher Kevin Esima, and when we come back, we'll have a conversation with the authorities.
Hello. Hi. How are you?
Residents say the school building has been deteriorating for more than 4 years. Constant exposure to rain and harsh weather conditions has worsened the situation, leaving parts of the structure unsafe for both pupils and teachers.
As you say, school no say, I hear no bosso. And I dare to I hear school quarters, so I hear school quarters to her. Na teacher for no amount baha, Wamontra, and I'm a Omuku school. During
a visit by ChannelOne News, another worrying reality emerged. Not a single trained teacher was present at the school. Offices and staff common rooms stood deserted, while cooking utensils meant for the school feeding program lay exposed to elements. In the absence of government-assisted teachers, a community volunteer has become the only person providing supervision and support to the pupils. Despite limited resources, he continues to engage the children while awaiting intervention from education authorities.
Some of the children, they are coming to school because of the school had detoured. That's what they don't come to school at all again. And now, that I believe that if we make it the school, the parents also permit that I always suggest to be a student to be at the school, because they are complaining about the school detouring. Because the school is not good for them. And we are also praying God that to bless anyone in the office and the children too, and those people that are making the school, and they also suggest that I also help them.
For many of the pupils, communication in English remains a challenge. During interaction with ChannelOne News, several struggled to express themselves in the country's official language. One pupil speaking in Twi appealed for support to improve conditions at the school and enhance their learning environment.
School me ba school maninge so school so to na e jwana ko fie maninge so kan pese school na menko na school ninge kama ka pese ke amonye school no mai school ko mbe bo anaye na office nyina nge na so to e jwana ko fie fam nyina nge ka wen nyina ko mu ya anaye bibia school ha bibia nge.
The assembly member for the Gaoku electoral area, Moses Boko Sinre, says the challenges have repeatedly been brought to the attention of the relevant authorities, but little action has been taken despite numerous appeals.
I've written to the assembly several times. I first wrote, I did a follow-up, and even the head teacher also did the same several times. But anytime we complain, it's like they are saying the resources or the funds are not yet there. Yes.
How long has it been this way?
Yes, it has been this way for the past 4 to 5 years. As you can even see, the children didn't even turn up because this rainy season, anytime they come and it is about to rain, they have to go home. So when they get up and see that the weather condition is not good, just like what happens the day before yesterday, it rained from the morning up to somewhere 11, 12. So they just decided maybe today the clouds are forming, it may rain. So that's why maybe even today they didn't turn up.
According to residents,
And that has been the plight of students in Garkun in the Sawla-Tuna-Kalba district. It's sad. It's sad. If this is what is going to happen, we cannot achieve the SDG Goal 4 target by 2030. But we have Kevin Esima in studio to shed more light on this issue. Kevin, you're welcome.
Thank you, Lily.
How do you feel? How did you feel filing this report?
Well, we've been filing a lot of reports here at ChannelOne TV. As you know, we're telling the stories of communities and touching lives. And there are some reports when we go to file, actually we are not able to even sleep overnight. And this is one of such stories. Myself and my camera man traveling to this community, we didn't know what we were to meet. We knew that there was a problem. We had to go and unravel what was the situation in that community. And it was a very terrible journey. When I say terrible journey, the road to even the community is very bad. It's a very terrible journey. First of all, you have to travel from Sawla, which is the municipal capital, to Tuna, then to Kalba. And between Tuna and Kalba is a rough road. Then when you get to Kalba, you have to then travel to Gaoku. And that's an interesting journey on its own. We're moving basically on paths and some other rocky terrains till we got to the community, as you could see in the story. Then we met this school, and we were lucky. We got there when the students were just gathering. So we got there when the volunteer teacher was just engaging them, and we had to interact with them. But ever since I interacted with the students, I've not felt well, because these are children that sit the same national exams, BEC, with their colleagues. And none of these kids could speak English to me. We tried to interact with them. None of them could speak English. And I asked, because one of them was conducting the assembly. He was telling them what to do and the rest. So I'm confused, because he was speaking English when he was conducting the assembly. Or is that all that he could say in English? Is it just to come in the morning and say, eyes closed, attention at ease? But then when I ask him a question, he can't respond. And these students have to write English. I was shocked. And one student, the whole school, they had to search for somebody who could communicate with me, because the others were speaking Wale. So he could speak Chi. So he was the only one who could speak to me. The rest were all speaking Wale, and English was a barrier for them. And these students have to go and write BC when the time comes. Another touching story was where they keep their utensils that they use for the school feeding program. It was just exposed to the weather. So the caterer later arrived and had to go pick them up and then go sit under a tree, send these same students who should be in school to go and fetch water to come and help with cooking. And the government pays these caterers to cook for these students. Why must students leave classroom to help with cooking? First of all, they have to even go fetch water to come in. It's a story that I just don't understand, and well, that's why we are here at ChannelOne TV.
Roughly how many children were attending the Jieyiri school when you visited?
So what we are told is that this is a school with over 100 population.
Okay.
That morning we had less than about 50 that were gathered, and the community gave different reasons. Some say because teachers don't come, some students don't see the need to come to school. And if you see the video, the volunteer teacher was telling them that this is not the entire population, so they should go back home and tell their colleagues to come. And it's sad, because if this is the number that has to come up every morning, and what would be the motivation for teachers to come? We actually didn't meet any teacher there. We tried to find out where they were. We were told they are just 2 and they were not present. And we got there around 8 a.m. There was no teacher present.
Wow.
Looking at the school building, we are in the rainy season. It means that once the rain start coming, the children wouldn't make it to school. Is that the case?
Yes. So what we are told is when it's raining, the students have to go home. They have to close down the school. So if teachers are present and it starts to rain, they have to close for the day. And if it starts to rain in the morning, that means there won't be school that day, because they just can't come. Because we are told the teachers commute 20 kilometers
That's like
to the school.
From the start of this thing, Accra Mall, to the end of
I
the
tell
Mokulu.
you.
And you know, actually, Philip, from Sawla, which is the municipal capital, to this community is about 32 kilometers.
Whoa.
Yes, and that's on a rough road, so you might spend more of that to really get there.
Stay here with us, and let's join the DCE for Sawla-Tuna-Kalba, that is Saka Sinkina rather, who is actually joining us. Good morning, sir.
Good morning.
I trust you are doing well, sir.
I'm doing good.
Are you aware of the story we are talking about, so the school situation that we are discussing on the show this morning?
Thank you very much. There are a number of schools in that stage in the district. They are numerous.
Wow. So not only the Jieyiri that we are seeing on TV.
No.
Tell us about it.
The educational challenges in the district are numerous, like most other rural communities in the Savannah region.
tell us about this particular one, what you know about it, and for how long has it been in this deplorable state?
When we assumed office, we took records of all the schools on that state. That is, those who have similar problems of their roofs being taken off. And there are many. That is not the only challenge. We also have the challenge of furniture, and then we also have the challenge of lack of teachers in these schools. And we were looking at what we can do, and we started doing something small. Unfortunately, on our part, the outbreak, when the Jieyiri conflict broke up, and we couldn't complete a number of them. But few ones have been done, and we are working seriously to see how best we can address the remaining ones.
Wow. What is the plan for the pupils or students of Jieyiri? Because this is what we are discussing now. And when is there any timeline to ensure that maybe they have a beautiful, good place for teaching and learning to go on?
Like I stated earlier, there are a number of them, and we are considering hooking some of them into our budget come the mid-year review, hopefully next month. When we are to do the mid-year review, we will put a number of them on stream. As to whether that particular school will be put on stream is another thing, because there, like I said earlier, there are about 6 schools that whenever it rains now, they have to stop going to school. And we are looking at what our budget can support to solve this particular problem.
Help us know the other ones that are not in good shape. Now we know of the Jieyiri, and you're saying that there are 6 others. Mention the 6 others for us, and also for how long have these schools been in these deplorable states?
You said how?
The schools. You said there are 6 of them in the area.
About
exactly.
6 or more.
6 or more. So if you can just let us understand which places.
Currently, there is a community called Konkorompe. Konkorompe is in the southern sector of the district. They have similar challenge. If you go to a place called Kom is in the northern part of the district. They have 2 of their schools also in similar conditions. One is better, but the other one is also similar to this. We also have another community called Jieyiri. Jieyiri is in the southern sector. It also has this similar problem. We have another school called Jieyiri. Jieyiri is also around the Kalba area. There are numerous of them. And even the more challenging one is the lack of personnel, teachers in these schools. We have a number of the schools where you can see primary 6, from P1 to P6, about 1 or 2 teachers minding these schools. And unfortunately, the enclave where you are talking about is an area which was severely affected by the conflict. As a result, the few trained teachers that were there have to take transfers.
Wow.
Some of them, there was nothing we could do about it. Some left the district, and that is making it difficult. And even those who are still in the district, the few teachers there, when you want to take a teacher there, then he doesn't want to go, and you cannot force them. And another factor that is making this teachers not to stay at post in these rural areas is lack of basic facilities like telecommunication network and electricity.
Wow. So virtually, from what you are saying, it's a place that has actually been cut off from what we are in, what people are actually getting in the big cities or in other regions. So how are you preparing these children, from what you know as the DC, how are you preparing these children, i.e. the students, for national exams like BEC?
Like I stated earlier, the entire district, we have a number of schools like that. A number of schools with only 1 teacher.
Yeah. You have stated that, but I want to find out from you, with these challenges that you have, how are you able to prepare BC candidates for BC examination? Let me put it that way.
In collaboration with GES, we will do our best to see how best we can assist them. And not only that particular school, across the district. Those we have identified, like I already told you that we are doing plans are far advanced to hook some of these schools into our media budget. If you know our system, they need to be captured by the budget, then you'll be able to spend on them. If it is 1 or 2, then we can treat it as emergency. Once there are many, we consciously select some of them as to our financial strength, and then we will resolve them. With regards to the BEC candidate, like I said, I will collaborate with the GES director, with the security supervisor around that area, and we see how best we can prepare them.
Honorable, benevolent individuals are watching, and also organizations are watching. Even the government, i.e. the education minister and the agencies beneath it, are also watching or definitely get this news. Looking at the fact that you are trying to factor this in your budget, how much will you say that a particular school out of the 6 or more you would actually need for one to actually renovate the facility or get better amenities or better infrastructure for the school for teaching and learning to go on?
It depends on the level of destruction in the school, and my engineers are those who can be able to tell us the figures. Let me also state that our development partners are doing marvelously well. There are a lot of these communities where our development partners are helping, and I still encourage that NGOs and other development partners will come to our aid. We are really suffering.
Have you, so you've made passionate appeal to the developing partners and all that, but have you had a chance of actually visiting the schools with the sector minister, that is Haruna Iddrisu? Have you had a chance of visiting these schools with the sector minister, that is Haruna Iddrisu, or maybe somebody he says that, okay, go around with the DC or the district education director so that they'll be able to assess the situation proper?
My brother, you know, this question is a bigger question. I don't know if the Minister for Education has the whole country to govern, or in terms of education. It will be extremely difficult to bring him that level. But what the government is doing is that if you look at our common fund, a lot of resources are given to the various districts to improve upon education and healthcare. And had it not been because of the instability in my district, I believe most of this school would have been done by now. So what I will say is that we are appealing to all individuals living in the district to try and give peace a chance. You see, if there is no peace, even if you put this school infrastructure into order, like you stated, you go there, teachers will not be willing to go there. So we are praying that there should be absolutely peace in the district and all these things. In fact, with the releases we are getting from Common Fund, had it not been the conflict, by now all this, most of them would have been done by now.
Wow.
There is another thing that maybe you might not have taken note of. We are also lacking furniture. Last year we couldn't procure furniture because most of our monies were used on peacekeeping.
Okay. Yeah. Okay, nice. But as we speak now, the conflict situation has been addressed, I guess, like you made mention earlier. Hello?
Hello?
The conflict situation has been addressed, like you said earlier. Hello?
Well, yes. It's a bit better. It's a bit better as compared to last year. We still have some challenges. That we are trying to address.
Okay.
In fact, we still have a number of security officers present in the district across, who the district family have to take care of. And that goes with resources and other things.
Wow. But Honorable, you speak good English, impeccable English. Did you school in this community or in the Sawla area?
My brother, I went to a school where we use shed, shed grasses to make the classroom.
Wow.
For junior high school, we face challenges like that. Well, but it's normal.
Wow.
Up north here, it's normal. The most important thing is to get the human resource first, and with the other ones, you can address them. It is good to go to school in a very conducive atmosphere. But well, when situation like this arises, the most important thing is to get the human resource. Yeah.
Wow. But as you speak now, you are saying that the teachers are actually running away because of the conflict. Now that you've been able to address few of the issues, will you say that you are pleading with these teachers, that the GES teachers, to return to these schools that are in deplorable state, but you'd want them to also help the pupils and the students to learn?
One of the measures we are trying to put in place is we have had discussions with the GES director, and when the opportunity to recruit teachers comes, we should consider individuals who come from these remote areas and who are also qualified and willing to serve in these areas. When that happens and we are able to employ them, we strongly believe that they will be able to stay there to help their younger ones.
But there's also an issue with accommodation, I guess.
My brother, from the onset, I told you that these issues are everywhere, especially in the Savannah region.
That's fine. So I just want to establish that fact that there is also an issue with accommodation for these teachers to stay.
And I'm repeating it. I said these are problems that exist almost every rural community and rural district like my district.
Okay,
the challenges are numerous. For example, people talk of electricity coverage. If you come to Sawla-Tuna-Kalba here, our electricity coverage is one of the lowest in the whole of Ghana. In fact, we have about 296 communities. Out of this, only 35, representing about 14%, have access to electricity.
So the rest are in darkness?
The rest are dark. We are totally about 296 communities. Only 35 communities are connected. The rest are down. So putting it around 14% for the entire district. Meanwhile, in Ghana, maybe people say electricity coverage is around 60-68%. So the challenges, like I stated earlier, are numerous. But as a government, we are doing our best to also see how we can do to resolve those that we have resources for.
Now, before you take leave of us, the roads in your district also in a deplorable state, I guess.
Sure.
Tell us about it.
Most of the roads have been abandoned for a very long time. But when we assume office, a number of them have been worked on. The reality is that because these roads have not been worked on for the past so many years, most of them have deteriorated. But with the help of feeder roads, most of them have been worked on, especially this year. We just paused because of the rainy season, and very soon we will resume, and a lot more will be fixed.
Okay. Thank you so much for your time. Will you want to end with some final words before you take leave of us, or you are okay?
What I would say is that we are praying for peace in this district.
Okay.
As we speak, we still have our former MP, Honorable Truma, which we have not been able to bury. As a result, a lot of people still have the feeling that there is tension here. But we are working around the clock to resolve it.
Honorable Saka, thank you so much for your time, and we are grateful for actually sharing with us what exactly you are doing and how you are monitoring the situation in your district. It says that this actually cuts around across the entire district, and there are schools that are in deplorable state. 293 communities, 35 with electricity, the rest are in darkness, and that is also another big issue there. He also made mention of the roads that are in very bad state, but he said that some of them are being worked upon, but what he made mention of critically is the war or the conflict situation in the area that is actually sacking the teachers away. I'm sure he's the man on the grounds and all that. Chris, when you visited this community and also the Jieyiri school, what exactly were you told? For how long has the school been in such a deplorable state?
Well, Philip, to start with, we know this conflict came up somewhere last year, and we are told that they'll be able to resolve it, and we pray
Not
that
fully, though.
Yeah, we pray that lasting peace comes to the area. But this school has been in this state from the account of the assemblyman for 5 years.
5 years.
So this predates the conflict, if we want to even go by that. So that means this school was in this state for 4 years before the conflict arrived.
Yeah.
Wow.
So I don't know why the conflict should be used as an excuse, because the school was in this state. If you look at the school building, even the wood is completely destroyed. That means it's been exposed to the weather for so many years. So it predates the conflict. If the conflict is preventing teachers from coming, what has that got to do with the structure? Or are you saying that people come to what?
Maybe
I'm just trying to find out.
Because I think he also mentioned that they've invested more in managing the conflict situation. So maybe it's also
hence the reason why,
and also even if we were
revenue.
spending more in the conflict, we know that when there's budgetary allocation, especially with the common fund, they identify specific areas the money should go into. So what is meant for education could not be used to go to feed security personnel deployed to the conflict.
Maybe at this point, we want to leave it for...
Yeah, because we know how the budgetary allocations, when it's done, you can't use funding meant for another thing, and this is issue of priority. If you see this as a priority, Philip, we're talking of something that has been this way for 5 years. The conflict just came last year. If you want to renovate the school, you could renovate the school whilst trying to deal with a peaceful environment. It has nothing to do with renovating the structure.
Probably maybe you need a peaceful environment for teaching and learning to go on. So you see,
but you need a classroom to even have teaching and learning.
Well,
whilst you're solving the problem, you are solving a problem. If the problem is solved, where would they teach? You work on the structure whilst you deal with this. And secondly, you know, he talked about the fact that this is something that goes on frequently in the north. I come from the north, and I even come from municipalities that are poorer. If you look at the index that came, the last time the poorest district was Nabdan. If you go to Nabdan, even though they have bad schools, you won't get the school there. Sawla is not a poor municipality. It's not one of the poorest, even that has topped the chart before. And they can have these schools as an example. And if you want to talk about situation, we have conflict situations elsewhere, but you wouldn't see such a structure. And this cannot be there for 5 years.
So that means the government would have to set up, or whoever is in charge would have to. Did you get a chance to speak to the education? Maybe the Ghana education director.
We on the ground we couldn't get a GS director, but we tried to establish communications with him. He actually is of the view that this was not necessary, and that he's of the view that we didn't need to give the community bad reportage. He's of the view that this was not necessary, so he wouldn't even want to speak to it. And it's also clear from our interaction on phone with him after we did the story that he actually doesn't know the school as GS director. Initially he denied. He said it wasn't within his circuit. Later on he admitted it was in his circuit, but felt that it wasn't necessary because the president...
Are you referring to the GS director in the Sawla-Tuna?
I actually don't know him. I just got his contact in our line of duty, and he felt that, well, this is bad PR for a region where the president comes from, and you know it brings a lot of heat to staff.
Do you know where you got his name?
No, he wouldn't tell me his number. I got his number from the presiding member of the community.
So the interesting part is,
the interesting part is the assembly seems to be fully aware of this. The presiding member is up to speed on these developments. He aided us to even get the assemblyman, and they are aware of this, but it looks as if authorities are running away from the situation. Like GS director is saying, he doesn't see the need for us to even put up the story because it gives bad PR to a region where the president is coming from, and it gives authorities a bad name. But this should be solved. We can't have schools like this in the 21st century. We can't have schools like this. So look at where they sit. How then would they even catch up with ICT?
Yeah.
And they have to go and write an exam. Look at this school. How many of these kids are we expecting them to get grade 6 to come to pre-sec? And this is a farming community. The whole place is full of cashew trees and shea nuts. So as their parents are contributing to the economy, what is the country contributing back
I keep asking myself, do these big men actually go there to campaign during
the MP for the area, Andrew Dari, were you able to get in touch with him?
So we tried reaching the MP. We've left him a message on WhatsApp. We've sent him text messages. We've tried calling. It's not connecting. So we don't know whether he's in the country or not, but we're not trying. We try, but we're not getting to him. According to the assemblyman, the MP is aware
of the situation.
The late MP was trying to do something.
Who they said it's not buried yet?
Yes, and that the MP is aware, and that the assembly, and I am saying this because we engage with the presiding member, who is the speaker of the Assembly's Parliament, and the presiding member is fully aware. So if the presiding member is aware, the assembly should be aware. How many midterm budgets have the assembly worked on since the last 5 years?
But it looks like, from what the DC said, this is a normal thing.
That's the impression I'm getting from that he said.
Because we went there, we are not with them there, so it looks like something new.
But it shouldn't be
us.
normal.
But that's my problem to say that's normal in the north.
And that is something old or something normal to them. But we need to change our mind on this.
Yes.
Because at the end of the day, we are not progressing. Because if we really want, and we say education is a key, and we really want to give these pupils, look at beautiful girls, handsome boys, we can even find the next president. Like you said, the president of the day is from the northern region. And we've seen astute ministers and also MPs coming up from the north. If you go to Parliament, for instance, I can tell you without any study I will do that the vocal MPs on the floor of Parliament or in Parliament are from the north. Peter Tobu Lanchini, he's a very vocal person. Haruna Idusu, very vocal. Muntaka, also vocal. You go, you speak to Giselle, Dr. Giselle.
Yeah.
Very vocal. He's very brilliant and all that.
And so, all these people you mentioned their names will not accept the statement from the DC that this is normal in the north. Like I'm saying, it is not normal. There are situations like this. Even we know if we visit some parts of southern Ghana, we'll get 1 or 2 schools like this. It is never accepted as a normal situation. GES is the Director General of Education watching and listening to this DC to admit why he said that this is normal. It is not normal. And that is why I say that even if you look at the poverty index, the districts that have always topped the chart, if you visit these districts, as poor as they have better schools. This is totally unacceptable and should not be classified as normal. Yes, we know the poverty situation in the north, but that doesn't mean you should say that these are normal. We go through tough situations in the north. I am from the north and I understand the situation. But for this school, is it normal for a whole primary 1 to 6, no student is available to speak English language fluently? Is that normal?
That's worrying.
Is it normal for teachers to be absent from school because of rain? Is it normal for students to be left under the care of a volunteer teacher who has a speech problem? How normal is this?
So I think that the DC has said it, that the conflict situation will have to be dealt with when he's calling for peace. And as the authorities come together for the peace or for peace to reign in this area, that is the Sawla-Tuna-Kalba area, I also pray that the teachers will be empowered so that they can go there and teach these children. Because if you leave it at that, like what Chris has said, they are not able to express themselves in English. That means eventually they are being left behind. And people are actually doing their own thing. And maybe issues are just, you understand. So I think that it has to be looked at. Yeah, immediately. It has to be looked at. Anyway, so what next? Or there are more coming?
There are more to come.
There are more to come. There are more to come. There are more to come. Okay, we'll be keeping our eyes on it. We actually wanted to speak to other authorities on this particular issue in studio, but unfortunately we've not been able to get through to them. But that's been the report that Christopher Asima from the City Newsroom actually filed, looking at the fact that this particular school is in a very deplorable state. The DC for the Sawla-Tuna-Kalba area, Saka, actually admitted that this has come to the attention, not only this school, there are other schools as well that are also bearing the brunt of whatever is happening in the district, and that should be worked on. Benevolent individuals, we always call on you because the government can't do it all. So organizations will also want to take it up and try and fix schools like this so that people or students can also, that is pupils and the students can also sit down on proper desks and also get to benefit what we have for them. Because definitely at the end of the day, education must go down well for everybody. Freedom. So we have to get the education that we want in this country. Did it?